A pot to do wrong.
What you doing there?
Later.
So,
Did you do the bowl?
No, I just went to the beach.
to Medewi. Yeah, Medewi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of the West Bali also, Medewi. And then we have Wira today. We're talking about it, and then how they're trying to do sustainable tourism in the West Bali. Oh yeah.
All right, everyone. How are you today?
Good.
I hope you are good. So while waiting this one, and before I introduce myself, I just would like you to know each of you. So, I would like to hear where are you from, who's your name, and please just share like one word. What did you expect, and what did you want to hear from today's event? Okay. So I repeat it again. Your name, where are you from, and what do you do, and also one word that, like, what do you want to, like, what is your expectation? Okay. Who would like to start first? Who want to start?
My name is Christina.
Nice to meet you.
I'm from Austria. I have a company connect writers, people who read writers in German. And I'm here for 5 months minimum in Bali. And one word, I don't know, I'm just interested about one sentence, what interested about this.
Thank you.
My name is Michael. I'm also from Austria. I'm a software developer. Staying here for a couple of months. Expectations, I think Aaron. He was walking around asking people. Yeah, and I think the topic is very interesting.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm on for credit. I didn't know there was going to be a test. My name is Andrew.
Okay,
Hi, Andrew.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, what was the second one? Where are you from? I'm from Los Angeles, California. One word? Ambiance. Ambiance?
Ambiance.
Ambiance. Mood.
Oh, that's a better one.
Nice. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm from England. I'm in Bali for 6 months, but I'll be back again in autumn, so why not? I do a few different things. I'm a relationship coach. I also am a graphic designer and UX designer, and I'm really interested in sustainability. So, knowledge.
Thank you.
My name is Annette. I'm from Holland. I moved here 3 months ago permanently. I have my own company, online marketing for small local tourism businesses. And I'm also writing a master thesis here now for a master that I was doing in the UK with a focus on surf tourism. So my work will be inspiration.
Thank you.
My name is Anthony. I'm from the US. I've been here on and off this winter. I own a travel company. We're also very interested in sustainable practices. And one word, can I hyphenate local sustainability? Learning.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm from California, to the States.
Really?
Really? I starting an e-commerce shop, and one word I would say culture.
Culture.
Alexia from France, and I'm interested to travel more in a sustainable way, especially in Bali, and learn more about how to be more sustainable.
Where are you from?
How to be more sustainable while I travel.
Where are you from?
France.
France. Thank you. Great. So I will share one video about who we are before I introduce myself. Ini terlalu dekat.
Bukan itunya. Soalnya
Coba ini suaranya matiin ya.
matiin.
All right, so you see like a big picture about who we are, right? So I'll introduce myself. My name is Putu Wiraguna in Balinese, but you can call me Wira. I'm from west side of Bali, in Jemberana Regency, we call it. So here I represent Five Pillar Foundation. Maybe some of you never heard about that. So basically today I would like to share about what we are doing about, with Bali and with rural area, with youth and with the tourism that's happening in Bali with the Five Pillar Foundation itself. So, Five Pillar Foundation, it's basically a principle. So this is principle of life. So we have economic side of it, we have environment side of it, education, culture, and community. So it's basically, it's the way how you think. Let's say, like anything that we develop, anything that we build, like we are in the middle. For example, when you build an enterprise or a business, not just about, okay, you can think of, making income. In the same time, like how in the same time you can also educate people. In the same time, when you're making income, you also preserve the culture and environment. And in the same time, you like educate the people, you also help the community. So it's basically a balance. sometimes lots of businesses, they only think about profitability. Sometimes they were not thinking about, even like in farm. So this principle that we bringing everywhere that we develop. So even like youth skills development, how we also can develop the rural youth, they're not just about thinking how to make money, but also how they can create a movement about sustainable movement, about impact the environment, and also educate others and stuff like that. So today I will be more focused into what's happening in Bali with the tourism. So, and this is our strategy basically in 5 pillars. So here in 5 pillars we develop both sides of community. First is we have like global community, and second one is local community. So basically we said that like how we can find right kind of community. Because sometimes when you find your own partner, even when you find your own, like business partner, for example, it's really hard if you're not finding like a one vision or one mission. So that's why we have lots of this kind of networking and like really asking people if they are like same alignment like us, and then we are basically in the middle how we bridge the local need with what's there. Because sometimes there are so many problems in the local area, but there are so many organizations that working on something. Like maybe some of you already see in Bali, there's like so many, like environmental, organization. There are so many cultural organizations. So basically, we bridge them through a program, through a project, and even through a product, based on the context of collaboration of the 5 pillar foundation itself. So 5 pillar here, we focus on local impact. In the local community, we do lots of youth skills development, as you saw on the video, because there are so many, I don't know, maybe in your country, I've been to Austria last time, there are so many young people that they have so many resources in rural area, but we don't know what to do with that. We just keep going to the urban area, and we almost, even myself, I almost forget all of my culture before, because I just want to come here to then start to work and those kind of things. But what's happening in rural area? There are so many abandoned gold, abandoned things that you actually can use it, for prosperity. But so that's why we're trying to do it with young people, that still exist there, and with the local community. And the other impact that we do is we do lots of international program where we're bringing international community to the village, because the local global that you see earlier, it's basically we work with a lots of existing, like we call it local hero in the villages. So we do bring the international community to learn about what is the sustainable movement that's happening in the village, for example. So this is the local and the global impact. And here is some, it's not updated yet, but actually right now we have 36 villages that we work with all around. And West Bali is right here. So we are, where we are, right? We are here in Canggu right now. So basically, we work a lot with villages where how we can find like the existing entrepreneur, the existing social entrepreneur, the existing activist, the existing organization, NGO in the villages. Because sometimes when we're trying to develop something from zero, actually there are so many things out there that already exist. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we map them out. And for example, I will explain to you one of the villages that we work with. So we call this Gumri village. So in Gumri village, let's say over there, so her name is Ibu Sukma. Have you heard about virgin coconut oil? Maybe some of you use it, right? So she make the virgin coconut oil, use 11 kind of coconut. How many kind of coconut have you seen? Maybe young coconut and old coconut, or young coconut. But there, you actually can see the difference. There are like crown coconut, there are monkey coconut, and they're very different color. So it just exists, So even me as a Balinese, I don't know those things. And actually there's 22 kind of coconut that she used. But she only used the number of 11, and she make it the oil only every 15 days, for example. And it's make the oil very special, and it's like exclusive. For a lot of people, like Balinese healer, they only come to just get that soil. So that exists there. So the other one, this guy, he rescued lots and lots of wildlife because as you know, a lot of humans destroy the habitat of king cobra. Actually, in Bali, there's so many king cobra exist. In West Bali, there's so many of them, and because a lot of farmers they didn't really educate how to react with the snake, so they basically kill them. But this community, they're trying to rescue it and release it into proper habitat. There are so many, like crocodile and stuff like that also in their community. Basically, it's about education, because it's in rural area there's lack of education basically. And this one there are like a lots of like organic chocolate making. So there are several farmers. They basically set up themselves as a cooperative chocolate. So they are locally funded. They basically trying by doing like 10 years to just find like how they can work together to build this small factory to create the best chocolate ever. Have you heard about Ubudro chocolate? They actually get their ingredients there. So it's basically it's a locally sustained, because before they fight with the supplier, because the supplier sell their things really cheap. They buy it, but right now they can sell their own. So it's like twice much more higher price. It's like fair price for us. So this guy is very interested. What he's bringing is like a mushroom, but behind that we call him inventor, like a local inventor. So what he does, he basically doing a lot of like inventing like local machinery using like recycled material. Like let's say like he has like old bike, he just like recycle it and put it together, and then it's moving. And then he use those for machine to help his project, for example. And the latest invention that he made, it's a water filter. So he basically gather like the soil from like each direction of Bali, like 8 directions of Bali. He put it together. He made this kind of type of clay, and he mixed it with herbs and 200 kind of herbs. And he said that it's going through like biotechnology process. Then basically when the water going inside of this clay, it's create the water pH 9. And they said like there's alkaline inside also. Where they are local and they never learn anything, even from internet. So like how they do those things. And there's so much more like organic fish and organic farm. So the point of this is only one village that I would like to share. There's so much more village that they have this abandoned resources, this abandoned knowledge that a lot of people don't know about. So that's why in 5 Pillar we basically map these resources. We basically list them out and really meet the community and really learn what they do and how we can work with them for preserving all of this. If, for example, this guy going to the city, this woman working in the hotel, is it still exist? No, none of them anymore. That's why we believe through also the sustainable way of work with them. Through one of them is like tourism, but another one like sustainable enterprise, fair price, and all this kind of thing. So we work with them until now. So there are so much more villages that we work with in Bali, basically. So before I talk too much, and before this, you would like to ask a question before I continue.
Do each of these villages, do you offer experiences for tourists to come and meet some of these people? Or
Yes, absolutely. So we basically a custom program, because we do lots of program that even like only focus on social responsibility, only focus for women, only focus for any kind of trip. So with West Bali is special. Like there are so much more into like real life of Bali. So we do have experience because we like to help them. But in the same time, how we also can share an idea and give back to the community. Basically.
And those are for groups that go around multi-day, or more like this is something you can do in an afternoon because you're already in that village or near that village?
It's several cases. Sometimes like mostly with group, but sometimes they are like only like 4 people. They just would like to experience this. We welcome. But sometimes also we had a group where they just want to learn about this, and and we just take them to West Bali. That's also welcome. It's still customized right now.
Why so much clustering in West or even Northwest?
Why? Because our pilot project is happening in West Bali, but right now we are Middle Bali. We have 5 regency now. West Bali, some of our village are there, but we have a lot of more village even close by here. We have a village that we work with.
Were these villages more impacted by tourism? Potentially more?
With us, how? Because we have a mindset where how you can use the tourism that shift the impact is positive basically. Because we understand if you manage it in the wrong way, the tourism impact will be much different. So we're trying to shift it into positive way, where they maybe help in another. Because sometimes in West Bali we have a lot of international community that help, like even they help with fundraising or raise like supporting young kids, or even research, or so many things actually going on. Even like build school last time. Yeah. So in the trip where we're trying to build the connection where each other they understand, like as international, you're not just about going there to see it, but also you learn, and we kind of like share the idea and things like that.
What would you consider? Is there some kind of what would you consider a success? Like if she can sell more coconut oil, or if you have more people that come.
So there is a both side. In our organization, we fund ourselves through the trip. So for example, when we host group and we have the social project, so basically we have both legality. So we have for-profit legality and non-for-profit legality. So the non-for-profit legality is the youth skills development, and the for-profit is the trip, the experience, the educational trip. So when we have this, and this one basically work with the village. So sometimes the village will benefit from the income, where they get some funding from when we bring groups, and they can sell their product. This third one is education, and the fourth one it's a network where they actually have a friend from abroad that it's keeping in touch sometime, until they help each other and stuff like that. So there is a lots of way that like the impact itself. But right now, because we are in the stage of development, we didn't really measure really the impact, like the things. We only measure the number of how many community and stuff like that. But really the impact. But like what we see is actually there's a lots of ongoing, like after the trip, sometimes there's so many ongoing discussion and stuff like that happening.
Okay, so you are looking to do more trips.
Yeah. So because right now we have the 5-pillar foundation, we're focusing on community development, and we have the 5-pillar experiences, we're only focusing on sustainable tourism and educational trip. So both sides is like different entity, but they are all the same management, like all the same like what do you call like system. So for example, we have our own team for experiences, and we also have another team for the foundation. So we have each focus. Yeah, so that's why to make sure the impact in the local community, there is both sides. Can be the foundation side for the educational, and can be also the experience side with the tourism impact.
Sorry, I have one more question.
Sure.
It's okay if I go again? Do you see there's inequality with people moving to urban areas, the youth moving to urban, and so the point of this is to educate rural youth so that they remain, but increase the potential profitability or sustainability of rural communities. And how you're doing that is bringing tourists to there. So you're bringing people, the people that are moving from urban back to rural. Do you do work trips for the youth in the rural areas to say like, go see what it's like at a hotel in an urban area, or do you do trades with like Four Seasons, or work trades where there's moving back to educate in an urban area and then bring those youth bring back knowledge? That was a weird question.
Actually, what you just said, it's what we planned this year. So what we do before, we really bring the young people to really go out and learn something in the existing entrepreneur. That, for example, they are the mushroom farm. We bring the young people there and really see they are a successful guy in the village making this all the thing. How you can be like that. But we also think we not just about last few years we already a lot focus on the rural youth. But this year, actually, we will also focus on the urban youth. Because sometimes there are so many rural youth coming to urban area, and now they have knowledge, they have innovation, and they have like all the things that they have. And sometimes we need to give them a space and how they also can contribute to the rural area. So it's like both sides. It's not just focusing on the rural youth, but this year we actually will focusing on the urban youth. Where, for example, we'll bring one case. Let's say we have worked with one young artisan in West Bali. They need a lot of help with marketing and stuff like that. What about the urban youth can help them? Basically those kind of things. And regarding the visit, we absolutely want even like a visit to dojo, for example. They learn about wow, this is like international hub where there's nothing like this in West Bali, where they also can open their mind and stuff like that. That's absolutely.
So you're gonna have a dojo is gonna host some kids.
Yeah, we used to though.
Oh, used to.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Maybe next time.
So that's okay. So I will continue. After that, we will have a. So today, I have one question for you. Maybe some of you already in Bali, such quite a bit or quite long. So who would like to answer this? Like, what do you think of tourism in Bali?
Alex.
So what do you think of tourism?
I think it's quite unequal.
Okay.
According to regions, the tourism in the south is too massive, it's too much, and as you said, in Wira, there's no people, and I think that tourism actually degrades the culture in South Bali. So it has a pretty negative impact. It's yes, positive impact because it brings income, but I think it destroys a lot of so many ways.
Yeah.
I think it's very Instagrammable.
Instagrammable, you're right.
But I think also that presents the inequality that I think where tourists go where there's attention. I don't know, things that have more attention will get more visitors. So need more attention.
Yeah, I think it's also they just go when I think Westernization takes over the country, which is generally negative. It brings lots of positives, but I think it's like a double-edged sword because it benefits because it brings more money into the country, but then, as you say, it makes people lose contact with their culture, where they're from. I think it can be really positive. It can be a really amazing thing to invite people to Bali to see the life here and to properly invest in it. But I think it's getting people to approach it in a way that benefits everybody rather than just themselves on that holiday.
And I think tourism also is a little broad. I mean, people travel for very different reasons. Maybe I shouldn't use the word travel. Tourism is very specific, but people will go to places for very different reasons, such as I can never pronounce these things. The picture.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. That temple is incredible, but I noticed that it was a very large. When I was there, it was there were very few Western people, and they were not, and the few Western people that were there were not engaged. There's a lack of context. There's a bit of lack of maybe in any case education where I think over mass tourism places like I'm American, so I'll be some more like the Grand Canyon. You go on like the three things that you see in the ad. You don't really know the history, but there's also like native lands that like have this great history and great traditions, but they don't really get any context. Like I had no idea what to do there.
Like the beauty of it. educate yourself before you go, read books, I don't know. So
Yeah,
it
that's easy,
depends,
isn't it?
depends on the person who's going to it, I think. If you've got people who are coming away purely for themselves, a selfish point of view, then they will go to there and just look, take a picture of themselves and leave. Whereas if you've got more of a mindful traveller, perhaps everybody who's in this room would go there and take more of the space, the energy, the history of it, and get something from it. So.
Anyone?
Yeah, I also wanted to say that that's like what already been said, like it's too concentrated in the south, and I think it's really badly managed from the government. Like especially looking at the visa restrictions. It's all about the money.
I think it's very strange. I think I've never experienced it anywhere like this, that you can stay so much in a bubble. Like in Bali, you could, and I'm sure a lot of people do. So you go to always the same restaurants, which have all food which is not at all Indonesian. I think that's really unique. I never experienced it like this, that you can be in a place but be somewhere completely else.
I'm curious, what are the factors that have made a difference between development in an area like this compared to the South? Everybody's observed it's a negative. It's been a negative.
Do you think it's just because it's more travel to get somewhere? Airport experience? The main thing?
But has the local community here been better at regulating, for example, infrastructure? In some places I've been at a big problem where sewage waste, you have issues with that. You don't really have zoning, so everything's haphazard. And so things do develop quicker. And so more people come there because there's rooms and then there's market.
Like the domino effect.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I think most of you are totally right. I mean, even me as a Balinese, I see lots of change, but there are lots of, like both sides. There are positive change and also negative impact. So the next slide is basically, I don't want to against things, but this is actually what's happening now. Yeah, I mean, you already see that there's a lot of trash that unmanageable in Bali. There's so many traffic, also unmanageable, and so there are so many things happening and going on. Even as a mere Balinese, I cannot really blame anyone, but so that's why I really want to take action for this. Because if I speak to the government, they will say, "Oh, I'm already doing things." Because if we didn't really plan it, like really manage like the public transportation and the trash management, and also the people are the newcomers, because we just such a small island, and Indonesia have 250 million people. Lots of people just coming here because of the tourism, and because of the tourism, there are so many people are I cannot say it, but like there are so many things behind it. But behind this, also there is so many impact for our people being helped. They get income by working in the hotel, restaurant. They can live with their family, and our wealthier, kind of like more wealthier. So that's why we kind of like attract lots of people coming from outside of Bali, and we get like stuck here in Bali and get traffic and more developed. Yeah, I mean, I know really deeply what's happening now. So that's why I really want to take action by myself. I cannot really blame anyone, because tourists, I didn't really call a tourist because they're also seems like me. I come here as a tourist also. I came here to visit you. Same thing like you here. So basically, I got like one of my friends said, anyone is a tourist, even your family, your friend. When we visit something like outside of your area, you are a tourist. You are a traveler. You are a visitor. So we cannot blame them. We need to at least take action like that. So that's the things. And I also would like to ask you here today, what is responsible tourism for you?
Keep as much of the profits local as you can.
Protect the environment.
Sorry?
Protect the environment.
Like taking care of the environment?
Yeah, preserving it.
Oh, preserving.
Being compassionate to the culture.
Making sure that generations after you can also enjoy the same tourism
The like generation in your
generations.
that's absolute.
I would say question a lot of things and don't take everything. Like when you get when the supermarket and you get 3 plastic bags, of course it's convenient for you, but there's something coming after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take the initiative.
Take the initiative.
Yeah, like leave as small a footprint as you can, like with plastic or anything like that.
That's absolutely. So yeah, I mean, most of what you said is totally right. But what I see here, lots of also international, they're already aware about that. But local who actually provide this is what we need to do because sometimes, okay, as even me, because I already opened my eye and there are so many things that happening because of the impact. But there are local outside there, they don't know anything. They don't know. For example, they just still throwing the plastic, still doing like burning the trash and stuff like that. So that's why we also trying to take action with that. So today I would like to share something. So it's basically summarized about how you can be like a more responsible traveler wherever you go, wherever you visit, whoever that you like meet, things like that. It's happy to dress like our dress. So so basically, responsible tourism is part of the sustainable tourism. Inside of sustainable tourism, there's so many more of the tourism kind of. There's cultural tourism, there's rural tourism, there's recreational, eco, everything. So even right now, I hear about, have you heard about nano tourism? So last time I've been to several conferences, there are also one guy that working in nano tourism, and also there are alternative tourism, and there are also a really new one called regenerative tourism. Regenerative tourism, like regeneration. It's just so many concepts because in this world, we also feel already. I don't know if you already count how many flights that you have done. Maybe a lot, I hear that in Europe there are so many flights and people need so basically we also count the men. So every gas that we have, we plant one mangrove at least. So there's basically supporting the footprint and stuff like that because it's actually really impact with the airplane and stuff. So yeah, so this is about the sustainable tourism. And with Dojo, actually we have a program in the 23 and the 24 where we're actually going to West Bali and learn some of the local innovation. So you may ask Haren about that, the information. But basically, we will go through several things that I shared with you earlier, where we also learn about there is one of the sustainable village that developed in Tabanan Regency, where they're actually trying to be self-sufficient and eco-committee and stuff like that. There are like this village where I just already explained to you. And this village is about fisherman village where we learn about how they protect their village from the mangrove. So the mangrove actually protecting this village. And we take boat through the mangrove, like going to the mangrove. And after that, we also, along the way, we see like this big, beautiful boat, like an ancient, like Balinese Muslim, like they collaborate together with this big boat. This is actually so huge. And this boat they are married. So they're always couple of the boat, and there are a unique story behind that. So you will take a boat, and after that, we will see like there are one villager there are one community. Before they actually turtle hunter, like hunting turtle, where they eat turtle, they sell the egg and stuff like that. It was before 1992. They wasn't have any turtle on the sea. There was, every time they go to the sea, they still see turtle and, hunt them. But in like 1980 or something, they wasn't see any turtle anymore. So at that time, it's also WWF was coming to that village, to this village. And also, doing this workshop and stuff like that. They basically, not just for WWF, because they cannot hunting turtle anymore, they feel like bad. And they, right now, the son of this family, now they built a conservation for the turtle. And since 1992, they only have several nests and release several kids, like baby turtle. Last year, we released 17,000 baby turtle. Yeah. There you can see from April to September, you will actually can see how the baby turtle is growing, and they have all the data there. Because what's happened in West Bali, there's a lot of the shoreline, they lose our sand because of the global warming and raising the sea and stuff like that. So there's so many factor and also plastic. So they need to protect the egg and when it's hatch and release it.
Are you going to do releasing during?
In this March, maybe we will only see some of the the nests, and there are also turtle being there because a lot of kids there to educate the kids and the local kids and things like that. But like hatching usually is happening from like April, May, like June to September. And after that, we will go to the 5-Star Foundation base camp where you will meet with our local youth and share each other and things like that. And yeah, that's basically great where we learn, immerse, inspire, have fun, and also give back and be responsible. So that's basically. If you have any question, you can. You have any question for us?
I have one. I can't attend this weekend, but if we wanted to come at another time, is it possible to do that I know you said you do programs. Is it
Yeah,
possible
yeah.
to get
So
involved in
here's
those
also
as
the thing. If you have also the dojo member, maybe like 4 or at least, because we usually minimize it 4, so it's like more like affordable for you to travel because of the transportation wise. So you can contact Karen, for example. He can like contact me, but also you can find us in which is website. Also you can ask Karen for my contact. If you have your family and things like that. Yeah, absolutely welcome. Because West Bali is like special for dojo because we've been doing lots of trips since last few years ago, and yeah, it's been because even last trip there is a lady from French, Caroline. I don't know if you know Caroline. She even helping us a lot after the trip. The young people program. She even stay in our base camp for several days because she just wanna immerse herself. This one is kind of like eye opening for you, and also still see the real Bali and having fun. So that's for today, and thank you very much for. Okay, thank you so much, Dojo, for hosting. Yeah, so drop me and email. You can just like Google it, Popular Foundation. Okay, so enjoy Bali.